Hi everyone, back to the More YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. And surprise, surprise, we are back again. Eddie Howe to England. The story is doing the rounds once again. Never really seems to go away, does it, to be honest with you? So fresh off England's defeat and exit at the hands of Spain in the Euro 2024 final. Regardless of getting to the final, Gareth Southgate's position has been one that's been under speculation for quite some time, and I suppose rightly so in many ways, because some of the decisions he's made, the players he's left out, the players he's backed. You look at our very own Anthony Gordon only getting 5 minutes as well in the tournament, which is a bit of a disgrace. The big players not turning up, and his backing of Harry Kane, where he just looked completely off the pace. So this kind of pressure has now grown on Gareth Southgate. And I think he's going to leave. I think he would have left if they'd won, and I think he is going to leave because they've lost as well. So the speculation is already rife about who the FA are lining up to replace Gareth Southgate. Now, Gareth will probably fuck off for a couple of months and then do some punditry or have a little break, and then by Christmas there'll be 3 or 4 Premier League managers that have been sacked and they'll be sniffing around a job then as well. But Eddie Howe tops the list apparently from the FA, that if Southgate walks in, and Newcastle are almost bracing themselves for an approach from the FA for Eddie Howe. Now, Eddie Howe himself is apparently very relaxed about this. I'm quoting the story from Craig Hope in the Daily Mail. Mark might put the link below for you. I like Craig. I like what he does. He doesn't write stuff that he doesn't think has a kind of tangible way of maybe happening or being the case. He doesn't bullshit too much. A lot of journalists do, but I don't really feel that with Craig's writing, to be honest with you. I think he normally writes about things that are quite on the money, and to be fair, his opinions in Newcastle, unlike some other journalists, are brave, and he's not scared to say things that a lot of people aren't, even though he gets loads of shit for it on social media. But going back to the point at hand about Eddie Howe, so he seems quite relaxed about it. He loves the day-to-day, grass coaching, that he gets with his players. He wouldn't get that at international management, and obviously his family has settled after moving up here from the South Coast. And I think as well with Eddie that he feels like this project has only just begun, and I don't think he's the kind of guy to walk away. But it's very important to remember that being an England manager is obviously a huge honour for a young coach like Eddie Howe. I think people have already dragged out the clips when he was at Bournemouth saying it would be hard for him to say no to it, which is obviously just a bit of mischief making. But when Southgate walks, I don't think it's if, when he walks, the pressure will mount. All the pundits will be out, the talk shite. They'll all be saying Eddie Howe for England and all this, which is ironic because they're saying he's not good enough for Newcastle 3 weeks before, and then all of a sudden he's England's saviour. So work that one out. But I don't think this will happen. If I'm honest, I think the speculation will grow and it will be rife, and they maybe will approach Newcastle. But I think Newcastle should flatly refuse to send Eddie to England. And I don't think Eddie will push for it, because I think England will be there for Eddie one day. I really believe that. I mean, the England manager's job, the international template job, used to be a manager who's done everything in club football, and then he's kind of in his later years, and then he gets an international job. But it's slightly changed over the years, even with the likes of Nagelsmann taking the Germany job. But if you look at Southgate in isolation, so Southgate took the England job. He was already the under-21 manager after he kind of failed at club football with Middlesbrough, got them relegated and disappeared from club football as if he wasn't a good enough manager to be that. He's kind of reinvented himself behind the corridors of the FA, and he looks like he could be a better manager now than he was then, which is what happens when you're a young manager. But Eddie Howe's gone the other way. Big success at Bournemouth, obviously got them relegated, went away, didn't just lick his wounds, developed himself, come back as a better coach, and now he's a brilliant manager at Newcastle United, and rightly so, getting all the plaudits and held up in high esteem, alongside some of the best managers in the game right now for what he's done at Newcastle. His win ratio is ridiculous. His style of play, the way he's reinvented the whole squad and club ethos, and I don't think that's something that the club could replace very easily if Eddie did decide to take the England job. But there is an element of doubt and scepticism in amongst all of this. Obviously, Amanda and Merdad moving on, does that remove Eddie Howe's safety net, security blanket from the wrath of the PIF if results don't quite go his way? So if the FA do come calling, is it something that he really has to sit and think about? Whereas when Amanda and Merdad were there to protect him, he might have flatly just said, no, I'm not interested, and move on. But hopefully this won't be the case, and Eddie Howe will still think he's got the backing from the PIF, the Rubins, obviously Paul Mitchell as well, coming in to be the sporting director. Hopefully Eddie's already had good positive conversations with them about how we take Newcastle forward, no pun intended there, how we take Newcastle forward this season and get us back into the Champions League. And hopefully if England do come calling, we say thanks but no thanks, off you pop. I still think if you look at the template of a younger manager with fresher ideas, a way to take England forward, from where they've already been. And to be fair to Southgate, he's got them to 2 finals. He's got them within a whisker of winning a trophy, the first since 1966. So you've got to give him some kind of credit there. Yes, he's been frustrating at times with his selection policies and some of his strange rhetoric, especially around Calvin Phillips. But going back to his record as the England manager, I think his win ratio is right up there. You could argue they haven't played loads of big teams, but his win ratio is there. And what he's done with the England squad, that unity he's created, I think that is something that can take England forward and maybe win a trophy. But, they just need to show up in the big occasion. The big players need to show up. I think that big stars, didn't quite play the way they should. I don't think the team was set up to play to Harry Kane's strengths. Again, you had a winger on the bench, Anthony Gordon, cough, cough. Gareth, you didn't play him. Jude Bellingham tried to do it all on his own. So there was mitigating circumstances. Phil Foden disappeared on the big stage. But going back to the choice of the England manager, I still can't see past Graham Potter for the England manager's job. He fits that template, that young manager. I think he did a brilliant job at Brighton. I think going to Chelsea was suicide for him. I said it at the time when he went, and it turned out to be the case. He didn't take the Leicester job. Obviously, Steve Cooper took that job, and I thought Potter was a shoo-in for that. So to me, I think Potter is the next England manager, and hopefully Newcastle will rebuff all the efforts to get Eddie Howe. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Eddie Howe to England. Do you think the club will flat out refuse and Eddie will also do the same, or do you think there could be some weight in this, and could Eddie be maybe thinking, is it time to go if Manda and Murdad have left, or does that not make a difference? We always like to hear from you. Drop a comment in, like the video, subscribe, help the channel grow. Have a great day. We'll be back soon with some more Newcastle United banter. All the best.